Howdy, y'all. It is Friday. We're here back at RCO Network. Rob Morales here live on a Friday, Studio 110, Phoenix, Arizona. Finance Friday. We talk about money, talk about wealth, talk about the things in your life that make you wealthier. Today, we have a special co-host, our host, guest, whatever, talking about money and the things he does, not only in mortgage, but with NFL players and some people in the sports arena. So please welcome, and hopefully I say his last name right. I've been trying. Travaughn, Mr. Paschal.
There we go. Travaughn Paschal. That is perfect.
Paschal, not like Paschal or something?
It's Paschal, like kind of pass and then school.
Oh,
like
Paschal.
Pass in a school.
So yeah, we're here on a Friday with Travaughn talking about your money and the things that he's here to help with. He does bring a certain amount of perspective relating to money and finance. You're currently in mortgage, right, sir? Currently
in mortgage. I'm one of the top executives at We Mortgage, one of the best mortgage firms in the Valley. Come check us out.
That's right. So we had you on here. We do have a Monday show which we talk about mortgages, but we're relating a lot of things back to finance, and mortgages tend to be a very significant part of somebody's wealth. Not only in small business, but in life too. You know, a lot of us, we go and the dream is to own a house.
Yes. Yeah. That is the biggest purchase for anybody is a house, right? Unless you're acquiring businesses, but not that many of us, do that in that arena. So
yeah, and so much of us get into it with the intent of just living there, but later on when you have a family, or at least when you're closer maybe to retirement, you realize that hey, you have something of an asset or an engine to wealth and creating more of it. And so having a mortgage is something that people kind of inadvertently fall into, as far as building their wealth goes.
Yes,
especially in this environment now.
Definitely. And you got to think what has changed in the last 30 years. Like, we didn't have an Airbnb or VRBO and all of that stuff 30 years ago. So now that becomes an investment vehicle for you as well to get in those homes. So
yeah, and you do, because you're on the show today too, you do have a small business yourself, right?
Yes, I do have a sports agency. It's called PFC Sports Group. So we pretty much on the map this year. We've been a target from a lot of bigger agencies that have been doing it a long time. So, yeah.
So the goal of the sports consulting, right? What are some of the things you do regarding that company?
So early on, we did a lot of finance stuff. This basically was our bread and butter. So it's kind of showing opportunity costs, things like that with guys, and trying to invert that bankruptcy statistic. So 80% of them go broke after they get done playing, and it's just because of financial literacy.
Yeah, and see, the thing that I connected with when we had our conversation before the show was that you help NFL players, or just players in general, sports players, really understand how to manage their money. And would it be fair to say a lot of people who are in sports tend to not necessarily be given a silver spoon, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And so when it comes to that, they're not necessarily given the framework, even when they're given a silver spoon, how to manage that.
Exactly. Someone's always doing it for you, no matter what. And that's where you see a lot of financial advisors and people that are supposed to be in charge of finances take advantage of guys, right?
Yeah.
Just because they don't know any different. They're like, okay, well, this guy's going to handle everything for me. And they never once learn how to handle that stuff themselves, or that guy doesn't provide that knowledge to them to be able to handle it themselves. So.
Yeah, it's funny. It's like when you win the lottery. Have you won the lottery ever?
Yes.
Oh, really? How much did you win?
I don't know. It should be off the record. There should be one of the off the record things I said before. But
multi-millions?
My whole thing came out because, like, my mindset is because I won $200,000 in the lottery.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, and I just saw
that's pretty good.
Fast it went. Yeah. It was just like from taxes and everything. It goes so quick.
And most I've won is like $10, yeah. And then you had to buy the $10 scratcher to win it. So
yeah, and it was a crazy story, absolutely crazy story.
Yeah.
You could probably find it online somewhere.
Was that in Arizona?
No, this was in Maryland when I lived in Maryland. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Right before I went to college.
Oh, that's really cool.
That's when it happened, and just it came. It was honestly God. It came through like a very tough time for us. We just ended up getting it. So.
Well, and something like that, I mean, for a normal person, that with normal bills, not somebody that's like affluent or anything, $200,000 definitely pays a lot of stuff off.
It definitely does.
And
definitely does.
When you pay a lot of stuff off, what's the first thing you want to do? Go buy more shit.
Yeah.
That's usually that's at least what I think. You know?
Definitely. And I think it's more of like people are afraid of debt. People don't want, but at some point the debt gets so cheap that it's like, okay, well, this is good debt. Let's make let's make our cash work for us, and let's stay liquid just in case something pops up. And a lot of people don't think about that.
Well, and in terms of like, because before we got on the show, we talked a little bit about like players and stuff and people who come across a lot of money, really don't know how to manage it. They never had the infrastructure or the understanding of how to manage a large sum of money. They just think, oh my God, money, and I can buy more things, and they don't really know how to utilize it in the right way, and really the right way means, a lot of different things, but for the most part, it's like building upon it. Most people who have money want to build upon it and make more of it. Yes. But sure. we live in a culture, and you can fill in too, and from your perspective, I think we live in a culture where we like measure success on what we have. So we measure success defined by money and fame and things like flashy things, and it's not just because when we talk about assets and leveraging off assets, it's not about buying assets. It's really about buying just crap that you think that people will, demonstrate how far you've gotten in life.
Exactly.
Versus the actual literal distance you've actually gone.
Yeah, definitely.
If that makes sense.
And like we talked about before, it's all about relationships and stuff like that make you wealthy, I think, personally. So, yeah, you can have a bunch of toys and you can have a bunch of everything, but if you have nobody around that's loyal to you, that drives you, like just those type of things. And I mean, what's the point of having it? Right?
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of people, they tend to spend their money on things that they couldn't afford before, and then they realize like, oh, okay, in hindsight, I probably shouldn't have bought that. And that goes back to the opportunity cost. Like, how much does that really cost you, right?
Yeah.
You buy a $10,000 watch, you buy a $7,000 watch, you go on a shopping spree. That stuff costs you a lot of money. Especially long term, right? You think about what that would have compounded into over, 10, 15 years, and then you stretch it out to 30. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's astronomical.
Well, growing wealth, is somewhat of a long and arduous task, and there's a lot of peaks and valleys when you're investing in money. And when you can invest $10 today in the stock market, whatever stock you want to pick, then you may lose about 50% of it. Because I will tell you, my stocks right now are horrible. I've pulled out equities. I've sold a lot of stocks because of, there's just a major sell-off. But the stocks I do have are down like 35%.
You know what's so funny?
And it drives me. It's driving me crazy.
So Warren Buffett, like his strategy is like, okay, people buy stocks like cologne, right? But they need to buy stocks like groceries. You buy your cologne maybe like every 6 months or, maybe once a year, depending on who you are, right? Yeah. Depending on how you smell, right?
I smell a lot. We won't get into that one, though.
So, you if you start to buy them like groceries, like, every 2 weeks you're buying something and you're buying at that market mean, right? So, like, just buying at the market mean is like really the key point. And then it starts to grow over time. You are...
Yeah.
I mean, you're set. It's going to, like, you're buying at the market mean, you're good. But if you're buying, like, at, very impulsive stages in the market, that's when you're probably going to get a little slap on the wrist and your portfolio is going to go down. But it's playing that long-term game. Keep it in, right?
Yeah.
How many successful day traders do you know? I only know a handful.
I don't know. I'm dabbling more into it, but I'm screwing up. That's why I'm like down 35%.
Yeah, you just gotta keep it in there. The market will come back. It's gradually went up since the start. It's always been up. So
yeah, and the one thing that with Warren Buffett that is little known, you can read a lot of his books, you can read a lot of his strategies, but he started investing at like age 10, and compounded interest at age 10. I really didn't start investing till like 35. So I lost a good 40, 30, 20, a long time.
Yeah.
A lot, at least 20 years. And 20 compounded over 20 years, you gain a lot. And it's slow and it's arduous and it's like, it's not sexy whatsoever. I preferably for me, I would want to buy a Lamborghini and just drive around, but it doesn't make sense. I'm still going to get to the same spot, but damn, it's going to be flashy as hell, and probably a big waste of money just to get from point A to point B.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's kind of your experience too, right? That's kind of what you've come across.
I don't know. I can't agree or disagree with that. Because if you think about it, right? Yeah. So let's say somebody can come in here and they can have every designer piece on, right? And they can go out and they can get in a Honda. Or somebody can come in here and have nothing designer on, get into a Honda and just pull up to a mega mansion. So it's basically based off of what you value. I think a lot of these decisions are based off of what you value. And then we always are taught, like, perception is 9/10 of reality. It's not.
No.
You know, it's like for some things, right? Like, as far as your safety, yeah. If you think something's dangerous, it's probably dangerous, right? But as far as, like, who a person is, I really think it's based off of more relationships and stuff like that than it is what type of assets that you have. Makes sense?
Yeah, but our economy is largely based on perception. We sell this idea that, you know, we're meant to have the big flashy car, we're meant to have the mansion, we're meant to have the hot wife, you know, and your success is determined by that. We're sold on that because then we're sold on that idea because it forces us to go buy more crap we don't need.
Exactly. So you got to think who's forcing you to that idea, right? So everybody
YouTube.
who's forcing you to that idea are paying people big money just to push that idea across, right? Yeah. So, like, you know, if you're a YouTuber and you have a Lamborghini, but, you know, next thing you know, like, the Lamborghini's actually sending you stuff in the mail, or, you know, you're going to get these test drives or whatever to promote these new cars, like, yeah, because they see that other people are going to buy that as soon as they get the money to buy one, right?
Yeah.
Same thing with designer clothes. Same thing with everything else. Like, they're going to push that on you to make that the standard because it makes them more money. So every single industry that you just named, they have somebody out there to push that to you so they can make more money.
Yeah, and that's why we're failing as an economy, because we sell an idea, we sell a dream, we sell an emotion more than we do sell reality. I mean, do we really need a Lamborghini versus just a Honda, a Civic? You know, no, but we're sold on this the idea that we need that in order to feel successful. Yeah. And I think the failure that we have as a culture is we don't recognize that we are so motivated by feeling more than really reality.
Yes.
You know, because I have a friend that bought a Maserati, and she pays $350 for that stupid oil change. You know, I'm complaining about my $40 oil change. Yeah. She got a $350 one. I mean, it's the same car. Well, it gets me to the same place. But, you know, the extravagance behind it has, I guess, fills us in a different way. And I guess if you are buying those things and it makes you feel good, at the end of the day, it's fine. But there are people who want to invest that money in different ways and have it built, right?
Definitely.
I mean, if you're in that status, then you might as well, I guess, you know.
What's so funny? So we talk about the Honda.
Do you have a Honda?
No, I don't. I have a BMW. But my oil changes, I get an oil change every 12,000 miles, right? I might pay a little bit more than a Honda, but that's what it is. But those Teslas, have you seen the maintenance schedule on those? And
no.
It's ridiculous. It costs you more to own a Honda than it does to own a Tesla. But you're going to pay more up front, but you're going to save a lot more money over time.
Well, Model T's what, 100 now? 100, 102?
With the Model X or Model S?
I don't remember which one.
Yeah, they got the SX, the Y, the 3.
The one with the doors. Yeah.
The X. That's the X one. Yeah. Probably about 120, I want to say. Somewhere around there. I don't know. Don't quote me. But they're ridiculously fast. They're faster than any other car that's out there. And I think Elon Musk is just doing a great job with that. It's crazy.
Well, and I think what I want to recognize to people here is that we are definitely sold in ideas. And when it comes to marketing, you have a good marketing strategy when you can bring and invite people, and you have to create a sense of feeling of connection with that. And that's the resonating. That's the long-term repurchase. You know, the reason people buy McDonald's is not necessarily because it's cheap. Part of it, yes, but it reminds them of their childhood or something they're emotionally connected to, which McDonald's food isn't healthy for you.
No, not at all.
But that's the way with everything else. You know, there is a certain connotation or a certain feeling when you're driving a Lamborghini than when you're driving a Honda Civic. Oh. You know, so it creates a feeling, but we're sold on that so much, and I think the thing we fail to recognize is that we're sold on perception. You know, there's so much of what you do in marketing, like with this company too. You sell a perception in order to gain people to kind of come, but the value you give behind it is essentially more important. The feeling, because that's what gets people to stay. You know, you can have the nice wife, but if she's crazy, man, then sorry.
Yeah,
she might look good.
But some guys like crazy girls, though. Some guys like crazy girls, you know.
Do you like crazy girls?
No, I do not. I like my peace.
Well, my wife's an accountant. There's no crazy there. So we're here talking about just different things. I think more about perspective with Travaughn. Because the consulting business does take a lot of this into regard. I think helping people understand kind of how to manage their money is really what the consulting firm is about.
That's what we started at. Yeah. We started as like helping people manage their money, seeing their opportunity costs, and finding a financial advisor that is not just checking a box, right? So, we help people out with all of that. But now it's more contract negotiation, right? And then we still have a little bit of the other stuff on the side. But now we're able to delegate to somebody who we vetted, right? And the NFL has vetted to be able to handle finances. So I think like we came to a great spot where, because at the end of the day, right? Let's say if I'm a financial advisor and I have a financial consultant company, I'm doing that too. And everything is, moving correctly and all of this stuff. If I have a guy who does not know how to spend his money, and I'm getting him 1,000% a year, he it's the same problem, right? Like you got to know what to do once you get those returns, and you can't mess up the machine. It's all a machine, right? Every dollar that comes in, he's got to split that dollar up based off their values, right? Whether it's this portion, this bucket, is all for your training. All right, this bucket is all for your living expenses. This bucket is all for your investments. And now your investments are split up to, a bunch of different buckets on there based off your risk tolerance and what you want. But the number one thing I give guys when they first start, what does your future look like? When you're going home, what are you going home to, right? What are you pulling up in? What are you pulling up to? What's inside of that home? How many kids do you have, right? Are your parents living with you or are they not living with you? Because that paints a picture of exactly how they want their life to be. And it kind of gives me ammo too. So a lot of people, they might be working on 100 different things, right? Yeah. And let's say if you're trying to, The Power of Habit's a great book. So if you're trying not to curse, you're trying to watch your diet and then watch the way you spend money, something's going to give. Willpower is completely measurable. Yeah. It's not like one thing, right? So just going back to that, like you have to be able to pick one thing and be able to stick to it. But a lot of people mess up. And when they mess up, I'm able to say like, hey, well, you told me you wanted the big house, right? You told me you wanted, to take care of your family down the line and you wanted to get to this next contract. You wanted to do whatever you wanted to do, right? But this behavior isn't showing me that and it won't get us there. So how do we change it? And it's not strict, right? Yeah. So it's not like, oh, yeah, you can't do this, you can't do that. I'll look through all of your bank statements, and your bank statements that reflect your personality 100%. All of your bank statements. So I can tell, all right, well, some guys might like to go to the club and spend X amount of money in the club. We'll put that in the budget. No problem. We'll put that in. If that's what you want to do. If you can
stripper
afford
money?
It,
is there stripper money account?
It could be stripper money. It could be bottles somewhere. It could just be like they like being around people and entertaining people. It could be dinners every night. Well, we'll figure out what percentage that is and where you want to go and figure out what we need to cut out, right? So if you want to cut that out, you can cut that out. But if that's the way you release, who am I to tell you, like, you know what, you can't do that. That's not you.
Well, and that's what this life is all about, right? It's about experiences. And not to be a contrarian, but I think sometimes you have to go through all that crap. Like I never wish divorce on anybody, but I'm so glad that I went through that process because it does give you a sense of humility and appreciation for things. Like when you have everything and you have the car and you have the house and it just completely, you have it all and you don't appreciate it and it just leaves you or it just crashes out and you just like, oh shit, there is a life here. There's a reality. And for me, it's like, it gave me a tremendous amount of opportunity because we talk about opportunity cost. It gave me a tremendous opportunity emotionally to really reevaluate what's more important, And I will tell you, the dollar figures are important because those dollar figures do help as far as like, acquiring more assets, as far as like being able to purchase all this stuff even, being able to have the equipment that's available in order to facilitate the bigger dream. Yeah, the dollar figure works, but really it's the emotion at the end of the day. How does it make you feel?
Definitely.
And so much of us neglect that and I think forget about that or become dismissive of it. When we lose everything, it's just like, I didn't learn from that experience, so I'm going to go do it again. And that's where you come in, right? You kind of help manage that a little bit. But I do think everybody needs those experiences. I'm not saying everybody should get divorced, but damn, it was a good experience at the end of the day. And I don't blame the ex or anything, but I really cultivated like, okay, what did I learn and what can I apply into my next relationship? I just got married in December, so
Congrats. Congrats.
So I'm applying everything I learned. I will say women don't change. I can say that because Violet doesn't watch the show.
Okay.
But women don't change really a whole lot. But but I have a better sense of humility to manage that relationship better. And that's part of wealth too, right? Once you, I think, have a good EQ, emotional intelligence about yourself and your direction, I definitely believe that other things will manifest, and they're not so distracting in your
I
mind.
think that's purely your mindset.
Yeah.
Your mindset is no matter what happens to you, you're gonna prevail, right? But we got other people out there who like want to point fingers as soon as something doesn't work out.
Yeah.
So we got to make sure that if the advice that we give the guys to be able to do stuff, that it's within the scope of their personality.
Yeah.
Because a lot of guys are quick to point fingers. Of course, women too, but a lot of people are quick to point fingers. So we got to make sure that all of these people know exactly how to react to problems. Because if you had a different perspective to everything, not only would your outcome change, but your hormones would change in your body. You would look different. Instead of looking young, you would probably look a little bit older.
That's the Asian side of me.
Give you less confidence, stuff like that. So it's just the decisions that you make when you are coming into wealth have so much power, over your well-being, and that's what a lot of people don't understand. So, like for NFL players, you got to think, right? 3 years, they only get 3 years, on average in the NFL. It's really less than that now. I think it's like 2 and some change.
What are the common contracts? Are those like 2-year, 5-year, 1-year contracts?
It just depends. It's not all guaranteed. So if you sign a 10-year contract today, it doesn't mean you're going to be there for 10 years. It sucks. But, so coming in as a rookie, you get a base. They'll give you like the rookie base, right?
Yeah.
But let's say you don't get signed that way and someone puts you on practice squad, then you get a practice squad salary. So most of the guys I think that are out in 3, they never really see a base salary for 3 years. They see more of practice squad numbers, which is pretty good. Like it's a pretty good salary, especially for the length of time, because they only get paid during the season. They don't get paid
off season. Oh, they're like teachers.
Yeah, pretty much.
You got to be playing in order to get paid.
Exactly.
And you get your summers off.
Or there. Yeah. So and then they'll get some stuff, during the summer. Like they'll get paid a little bit for like OTAs and stuff like that.
And you used to play, right?
Yeah, I played.
Who were you with for?
I was at the University of Kentucky, and then I had a shot with the Bills and the Ravens. I was with the Bills, and Rex was there. So that was a great experience.
Yeah.
It wasn't the best organization. I think all of those guys are pretty much gone. But
talk about the Ravens.
The Bills.
Oh, the Bills.
The Bills. Yeah.
I don't know football. I really don't watch football at all.
All of those guys are pretty much gone. But it was a great experience. Rex was pretty cool, and a lot of the guys they brought in were pretty cool too. And it was just great to see, like, to be in that pro setting. I was just so grateful to be there. So didn't end up working out. I went to coaching afterwards, but yeah.
And as far as like your experience, what motivated you to want to help like other players? Is that because of your experience?
Well, you got to think. So the lottery thing really opened my eyes, and I'm like, this could have been done so much better, right? With the whole lottery thing, and then when I was coaching, I would get a couple guys that reach out to ask me about a couple things, and me and my buddy kind of got together and we would solve some problems for them and stuff like that. And I was like, you know what, this could be a business in itself, right? So I decided to stop coaching and kind of focus on that, and we did really good.
Wasn't consulting kind of coaching too?
Yeah, exactly. And I think, consulting is kind of coaching. I think doing mortgages is kind of coaching too. So the definition of coaching to me, right, is getting someone somewhere they can get on their own, right? So just kind of giving somebody that nudge, that motivation, that knowledge, all of it, just to get them to where they can get on their own. And I think that's kind of what I want to say that's kind of what we embody as, business owners too.
Well, and see, the thing I like is that it comes out of the thousands of interviews, and I did interviews way before I did the shows and stuff, every answer when you ask somebody like, hey, what are you here to do? What is your passion? The answer pretty much 100% of the time is I'm here to help people. And I think people struggle with that sense of service. How do I serve somebody? But not at the expense of myself. Yes. Meaning that, hey, I have to make money, but I still want to help people, but I got to in some way solicit them to give me some money for that. You know? And I think that's probably the biggest struggle. That's definitely the struggle I've had. And it seems like you're in that spot where like, hey, I've had these experiences and I want to serve somebody. You know, and I really think that's the foundation of every relationship is being at the service of somebody else, being at the service of a friend, and that's sometimes that service is just listening.
Yeah.
You know, and those cultivate the best relationships. Just somebody that's present, or somebody that can inspire you to do better, or hold you accountable, or just give you a shared experience. Like, hey, this is what I went through, and I hopefully you'll learn from this experience that you don't make the same mistake. But at the same time, it's like you kind of want to have them have that mistake, because then it just circles back to you and say, hey, me. And it's without saying I told you so.
Exactly.
You know, and that's what I see of this consulting service that you have. It's from experience, and you want to help other players do that.
Definitely.
Is there any shared experiences that you want to tell, and anything that's like prominent right now that you want to share with people that you've learned in all this consulting or this time? Is that too big of a question? What's the first thing that comes to mind?
Man, first thing that comes to mind. I need everybody to realize that mortgage is the cheapest kind of debt that you can get right now, right? Yeah. So the opportunity cost of that, let's say you pull $120,000 out of your home, you're not paying that much in interest on that money. Go make that. Yeah. Take that money and make yourself some more money. Don't take that money and go on vacation unless you feel like you've earned it or whatever. Take that money and put it into something that's going to make you more money.
So you're more of a Robert Kiyosaki guy.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and people are Dave Ramsey people too. Oh, you got to cut your expenses down and make more money, and that's how you save money.
Yeah, but let's say so common misconception, right?
Oh, here we go.
Save your money. All right. So let's say if you have $100,000 in a savings account right now, right? Yeah. What was inflation?
Inflation's what? 13, 14. God, I don't know anymore. Yeah. And that's whatever you follow. You can follow CPI data, and then we're only at 9% inflation, or you look at the real CPI data, which could be anywhere from 15.
So if I save that money, I'm losing money. Yeah, I lost my money by putting that money in a savings account. Even if you put it in a CD, it's not paying that much. Like you helped yourself a little bit. You didn't lose as much money, but you still lost money. Yeah. And no one's writing you a write-off for that one. Like you still had the money, you paid taxes on it, and then now you lost it. So finding these investment vehicles and stuff like that to get into, and finding a good financial advisor is so important. If you don't know how to do it, that is your coach. That's that person that can get you somewhere, that you can't get on your own. But a lot of people are sitting in these goose eggs, and a lot of people got all of these, all of this credit card debt too, and they're like, okay, how am I going to pay this? How am I going to pay my mortgage payment next month? Like, stuff's going up. Well, easy. Refinance, pull equity out of your home. Yeah. Like, you've got a lot of equity in your home right now. Pull that out. Take some of that money, give it to your financial advisor. Yeah. Take the rest. Pay off some of your debts that are high interest, right? That's what you want to get rid of. Stop playing defense. Get out there and play some offense. So.
I definitely agree with that. I mean, and we're talking about financial assets. So the goals, and we've talked about it before, the goal is to attain more and more assets, that you can utilize to generate more income. Real estate has been a large part of that, borrowing money at, right now, what, 6%?
5.7.
Yeah, something like that. It's getting up there, Yeah. Money was cheap a year ago, and if you didn't buy a house then,
which is still, like, better in the 80s. What were they, like, 19% back then?
Yeah, but the houses are cheaper, too. Yeah, my parents were like, son, I don't know if you should buy that house, because, when we bought our house in 1972, it was only $10,000. And I'm like, I don't think you can find land very much for $10,000 anymore.
Yeah.
But it's all perspective, and really the decisions that you make and where you're at in life really are based upon your past, how your parents grew up and what they did. If they managed their money, if they were really, understanding of how money works, using debt, obviously, like, again, read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. That's a good basis. It's really about the story, and it's really about a mind frame of letting go and taking chances. And Robert Kiyosaki is somebody who leverages off debt to more debt. Our whole economy is based off of debt. There are concerns that there is not enough gold in order to cover the debt costs that we owe as a country. That's a bigger conversation, but our whole life is debt. So you have to learn and strategize on utilizing debt more effectively. Mortgage is one of them. That's what
it is.
Travaughn here to talk about.
So you can get in the game, or you can watch from the sidelines where everybody else makes some money. So.
You knew he was going to pull out an NFL reference. You got to get in the game or stay on the sidelines.
Yeah, either one. So opportunity cost again.
Yeah.
Right.
So as we're wrapping up the show, can you believe it's been 30 minutes already?
Wow, that's crazy.
It just goes by that.
Time flies when you're having fun.
So I did want to share Travaugh's information real quick. We didn't really get into the other stuff. We had an investment calculator all set up, and we were going to talk about things. But I think the information that we have is a little bit more profound.
Yeah.
I do want to show your LinkedIn page here. They can find you here. I didn't realize you were bald.
Yeah.
You got a cap on.
I'm bald. Yep, got a hat on.
Welcome to the club, buddy.
Yeah, I love it. I had a lot of trouble regulating my temperature early on, but yeah.
Oh, really?
I was like hot, then I was cold, then I was hot again, then I was sweating, but I was still cold when I was sweating. So,
Dude, I'm always sweating, man.
Yeah. And there's nothing to catch it when you're bald, so it's just like going in your eyes and everything.
I think you do need one of those, one of the headbands.
Yes.
You do need a headband or a cap because
I
it
need
just bleeds right now. But you can find Travaughn here on LinkedIn. Go to Travaughn Paschal.
Travaughn Paschal.
Paschal.
Yep.
I'm going to get that right at some point. You can also communicate with him. I did put his link at the bottom as far as his Instagram as well. You can see him here.
Yep. TRA41.
Yep. TRA41. Let's see what you got going on here. Let me troll you a little bit while we're live. Is that your wife?
That's my lady.
Girlfriend?
That's my girlfriend. Yeah.
Can I say wife, or is that going to get her too excited?
Not yet.
Not yet. Hold on. Not yet.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned, guys. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. So you can find Travaughn here at TRA41, or go here on Facebook here, the Muscles himself, Travaughn, D'Angelo Paschal. Follow him there. But I want to thank you, sir. Do you have any last words before we head out to the Wild Blue Yonder?
Actually, I want to throw something out there, right? So everybody's going to face some type of adversity out there, whether you're a business owner, right? Whether you just, average Joe working a 9 to 5. If anything happens, just remember this: don't flinch. Keep moving, right? If something happens and it knocks you off your path, just make sure that you digest it, whatever it is, and get right back to it the next day. Right? So just don't flinch. That's my last words for everybody out there.
Yeah, I definitely think the bounce back, don't let things hold you down too far. And I think your success, and really the determinant of success, is how you bounce back. So well said, sir. But like I said, we're here every Friday talking about your money, talking about wealth. Talked a little bit more philosophy today, but you know what? Next week, tune in. Maybe you'll come back, Travaughn.
Yeah.
Talk about something more. Maybe talk about mortgages or whatever.
Definitely. I want everybody to come to...
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. We're preemptive.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. I forgot about it. I wrote a note. We were supposed to talk about the golf event. So I'm going to put it back on Facebook because that's where it was at. So if you're interested in golfing, sir.
That might be my last one that I did. So I do this once a month, guys.
There you go.
It's a 9-hole scramble. We do it at the Biltmore. It's on a Wednesday. Starts around 3. Last one was June 16th. This next one's going to be on the 18th.
Golf and Grow.
Golf and Grow.
And the proceeds, what is the purpose?
So basically, it's just a networking event for everybody who's, maybe you're an entrepreneur, maybe you are in the real estate industry, at, any point. Just come out, meet people, have a great time. It's all about just bring your energy. That's it.
So it looks like it's on June 16th on a Wednesday from 3 to 5:30. It's right here by the office, so you can go golf and then tour the office. We welcome all of you guys.
Yeah, it's right
to come
by the
in
office across the street. And then, we have a happy hour afterwards, so your registration.
I might do that.
Of course.
Can I just come to the happy hour?
Yeah, you come to the happy hour. Yeah. So,
I got it in.
Your registration gives you all of that stuff, so.
I don't really golf. That's why.
Yeah.
I'll sit in the cart and drink, but
no one's good at golf. Let's just be honest. Like, how many people have you been like, oh yeah, you should be on tour? Not that many.
No, nobody.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks they can golf.
Yes.
I'm a good putter though. I can squeeze one out at mini golf any day of the week.
Okay.
But that's about it. So we're wrapping up again. So I want to thank everybody for joining us. You did see at least one comment. Didn't make sense, Wendell. I don't know what you're trying to say there, but I will follow up with you later. You want me to read it to you?
Yeah.
Helps take a person where they can't get on their own.
Yeah.
Yes.
It helps to take a person where they can't get around. Yeah, it does. It definitely does.
I'll have to reference back to what we were talking about. But I want to thank everybody for joining us every Friday here at RCO Network in Phoenix, Arizona, talking about money, talking about wealth, and everything that you got going on as an entrepreneur. So thank you, sir, for joining us, and we will see you guys.
Thanks for having me.
See ya.